Mic check, mic check, mic check. All right, cool. All right. Hello, everyone. I'm your host, Rap Raven. Welcome to the Black Band Broadcast. Let us get the show on the way. I am on time. Good. I'm good. I'm very good. Don't forget, tell a friend, we're live. This show is for the community. No bells, no whistles, just pretty much a solution-based podcast for the community. All right, cool. So let's find, where's my PDF? Hold on. Let's find that fantastic PDF that we use every week. Oh, that's pretty cool. Let's share screen. Let's try that one. Let's try that. All right. So welcome to the 268th show. That's right. 268 attempts at work with the community to find solutions. All right. So don't forget to follow the Black Betterment Building Instagram page. Do that. It's very important. And we start as we always start. These we talk about the retroactive expectations, which is, aka ancestral obligations, are constructed activities that the Black community are designed to uphold to collectively recover from atrocities from the past. Sounds very cool. Don't forget to remember the atrocities inflicted upon the ancestors and the community in the past and present, and behave in a way that reflects this. Reconnect with Black people locally and globally, and form networks to teach each other about different cultures, right? And repair the Black community of historical trauma that caused self-hate challenges and health issues. Yes, right. And rebuild the Black family, Black economics, and Black nations. Okay, there you go. That's what retroactive expectations are. That means basically back in the day when Black people were going through hell, they thought, how would I like my ancestors to behave? My future offspring, I should say, to behave. Yeah, that's what it is. This is what we recommend. And so in order to do that, we practice Black Betterment. And what is Black Betterment? That is Black people helping Black people on Black issues, a lifestyle. So in order to remember and heal from the atrocities of the past, we practice Black Betterment, which is Black people helping Black people on Black issues. So this entire podcast is promoting and practicing Black Betterment. And we've been doing it for 268 episodes, it looks like. So there you go. So that's what we do here. That's right. It's the goal. There's no secret, no hidden message. Just, how can we fix Black issues? Hurrah. That's right. How can we do that? So we said, because it's a podcast, we let people speak when they want to jump in, but we just say, please, if you do, think about discipline, dedication, dignity, and discernment, which we call the 4D values. So if you're going to jump on, don't forget about those. Try to be respectful, try to be solution-based, and uphold the 4D values. And you can use these 4D values outside or any capacity because it makes helping the community just a little bit more easier. That's right. All right. So also, if you could use descriptive language and not derogatory language, that helps. I know a lot of people get used to using derogatory language when they're trying to be constructive. I'm sure it's very cool and trendy, but when it comes to this podcast, we can just use more descriptive languages and less derogatory language. I know it's hard, but we can do it. All right. So we got I promoted one topic. Unfortunately, there's the Hurricane Melissa going on in Jamaica. Some of the views might have family out there. We've got some videos and just some information we're going to get across, and hopefully we can follow that as the week goes by. It's very unfortunate. I mean, the thing is, the Caribbean is very used to hurricanes, but it doesn't make it easier. And hopefully, at some point we can find better solutions, maybe better ways of building houses and stuff to support an area that is frequently visited by hurricanes. You see, it seems. And also, a quick second topic, which I just came across, I think we did last week or maybe started, but suspected insincere support for the sisters. We discussed why it's easy for online Black men to pretend to be helpful to Black women, but use their pain as online currency. Yeah, so this is basically about the whole online, pages that they set themselves up, like pretend they're helping sisters or Black people, but generally seems to be sisters. And there's a reason why sisters more so than anyone else. But they're usually using it as like paying click or backhanded compliments. Just a way to get attention, really. And the reason why, let me just not go through the hypothesis now. We'll get to that. We'll go through. So yeah, don't forget to tell a friend. We're live. What we'll do is I've got a few videos. We might use the full 2 hours this weekend. So I think I have some videos that are not part of the topic, so we can give you a Black Betterment perspective on those. Let me see if I can see if there's anyone to start. While people get ready to come live, let's see. Nope, not that one. Let's see. All right, we can do an update. I think that might even be a contribution to some of the thing. I mean, this stuff. I thought this was interesting. This sister was talking to Sarah. This was interesting.
Should we Asian shops?
So the sister's talking about Black economics and all that good stuff.
Is that what we should do? And then every one of them said yes. Yes. Because how are Black people supposed to mobilize if they're in our communities? It's not no Asian hating. It's about economics and why Black people can't keep their Black money within their community. So when you go to your corner shops and, the food stop that they sell, right? They sell our food. They go to the corner shops. They have chicken shops lined up in our thing. It's all going back into their community. How's it coming back into ours? We have to boycott them. We don't want to, but we have to boycott them to keep it within our community. Otherwise, how are we going to progress? Right? I can't do it on my own. I need Black people to help me. And I also said as well, I said, Black people, you need to take time with Black businesses as well.
Yeah. What you need to do, it's not even about boycott the Asian shop. It's like, buy Black. That's all your message is.
No.
Buy Black.
The reason why I disagree with that, sorry to cut you.
No, go on.
The reason why I disagree with that is because when you say buy Black, we still are about convenience. Until we get out of that mindset to strictly go and buy Black, you have to give Black people options. If I don't give them options, what they're going to do, they're going to fall back into the cycle. You have to get, and this is what I'm saying, like when I said boycott the Asian shop, because they're literally in every single community.
But as you said, give the alternatives. So you can say, the only reason I'm saying, because I think getting tied up into a culture war also isn't helpful for us, because we just look like the aggressors or something. No. I'm not saying don't call it out. I think there's a conversation I definitely think there's a conversation that needs to be had.
Very good point. Both sisters really dropping some good science there. And yeah, I think I should really approach this sister. I've seen her videos floating around. But yeah, very good. But I see what they're saying. Like, we always say support Black, and she's saying, usually when you say boycott, you're highlighting something that has happened. That means you're not going to go to the shop because of these negative impact, these direct negative, which I'm sure you can find meanings, to be fair. But that would be narrative I would use if you're going to a boycott. But the other sister was talking about more like strictly support. I think the sister was saying another important thing there was that some people, it's force of habit. Like if you don't have a direct kind of thing that people have to do, they'll go back to the old thing. Very interesting conversation. We should have that one time about, how boycotting and supporting, when to do it, when not to do it, and how to present it to people. What we're going to find is, if you talk about not doing something for communities, you're going to find many Black people who are going to fight for the right to defend other communities. So you have to, you have to really word things in a way that minimizes that kind of anxiety. Excellent, cool. Let's see some other videos. Whoopsie days, that's not the one. Let's find some other videos. There we go. Let's see if there's any more before we start the show. Don't forget to tell a friend we're going to be live. Just doing a Black Betterment video sweep of certain things. This is interesting. Let's have a look at this one. I should have got the other one as well, didn't I? But I didn't get it. But let's look at this one. Very important one. So this is I don't know if this one was European or North African or something. I don't know. It's lots of makeup. It's hard to tell these days. But once again, we're just observing when Lenny Henry's come out and he said support reparations, and the reaction to it is that's what's really important. It's very important. But let's see the reaction to it.
The traitor. The
Very
traitor.
strong word there, traitor. So he says pay reparations for the massacre of and the enslavement of Black people, and she's taking up on the stuff that he is doing something bad. He is creating division. She's not saying about what happened in the past and people haven't recovered, and this is the right thing to do. This is not really the argument. It's very important that you see the behavior patterns of these other individuals.
Trying all his best to create division and hatred.
It's division and hatred. Isn't actually recovering and helping a community that has been squandered through atrocities. No, it's you want to cause division, and maybe he does. I don't know, but that isn't why reparation comes around. You see,
I have a message for you, sweetheart. If you don't know how slavery started, then listen up.
This is once again and trying to rechange history, and once again, who do these people use when they want to rejig history? They use the all-inclusive black man. Usually, the most powerful tool in the box is the all-inclusive black man, and this is what they use. So they don't have to do any heavy lifting. Just give it to the all-inclusive black man.
Slavery is evil, but it's an ancient human evil practiced by everyone to
We're already giving the solution for these kind of individual arguments. We just say, yes, maybe slavery was practiced by every single nation in the world. However, we're very particular. People of this particular nation, say the Caribbean, have been enslaved and killed, and we want reparations from the people who did it, the institutions from the UK, because this is what you do when you try to make amends, when you have to actually recover from past atrocities. So yes, if your sister was attacked by the police, you wouldn't accept the police saying, but everyone attacks little sisters. Yes, maybe everyone attacks little sisters. However, you actually attacked my one, and we want you to actually go to jail for it or pay some kind of fine for doing this unlawful act. So once again, it's very peculiar, but you can have that where you see people try to just round people up into statements and say, everyone has done it. What's bad? Yes, but particular institutions have benefited for it, so they pay. So we don't need the help from the all-inclusive black man. We have our solutions there.
Everyone. 4 years ago, I went to Ghana. I stood in a slave dungeon where people who looked like me sold people who looked like me to white people.
So the people who look like you who were enslaved, their descendants want reparations.
But long before Europeans began the transatlantic slave trade, there was a trans-Saharan slave trade.
That's true, but then, you would have to sort out the people who were affected by that and the nations that are still around today who are responsible for that, and have them require reparation from them. You don't just amalgamate every single crime into one and go, every single crime is into one, we want this. Don't get me wrong. We want every black person who's been harmed by these atrocities to be, what's the word? What is the word for recompensated? I think the word is. I'm probably bad English. But anyway, but there's a strategy of doing that, and that is actually attacking the particular institutions that are still around that benefit and still benefit in certain aspects.
1,000 years, brown Arab slavers sold millions of black Africans across the Sahara. Then came the Barbary slave trade. In North Africa, Arab and African raiders captured and sold over 1 million white Christian.
Those white Christian ancestors will have to approach the North African countries or the pirates that did that and get reparations.
Europeans did take slavery to another scale when they came to Africa.
So, that took to another scale. He's talking about chattel slavery, which is the dehumanization and murder and kidnapping and complete torture and re-eradication of a person's connection to a part, to the point where you can't even really get people together because the cultures that got us to come together were destroyed because we're trying to create the perfect enslaved person, to which this brother might be a descendant of the ideology that made that possible, you see. But once again, this is the irony of the internet.
But it's not because they were...
And it doesn't end there.
Once again, she's jumping into your tag team for the all-inclusive black man.
Even when he said Europeans took it to some next level, there is more to this.
I haven't seen this one, but she looks like she's found another sister, I suspect, who's going to talk the kind of language that she wants to hear.
There's more to this.
Johnson
Listen to this part.
Was a slave brought over from Africa. Okay, so what I did know that many people don't know is that Black people were not just, or Africans were not just stolen by Europeans and shipped over to America. They were sold by other Africans.
Whether they were sold, bartered, danced in a disco, it wouldn't matter. The crimes have happened, and for those crimes, reparations is required.
I did know that. A lot of people don't know that, so this was not news to me. But he was sold, and he was brought over as an indentured servant, and he was free because he served his time. An indentured servant serves for a period of time to pay off a debt or to earn their freedom, and then they get to be free. And that was the model that was meant for the Africans in America. Hang with me because this gets crazy. He was an indentured servant himself. He earned his own freedom. He bought land, and then he owned slaves. He was the first.
Exactly.
So once again, this is what I'm saying. You can find madams who trick women into going into brothels, this kind of stuff. does that mean you stop all kind of ways to stop that and to repay for that and to try to fix the damages? Of course, you're going to get you're seeing self-hating behavior already within this video. So we understand it's very easy to make black people do horrible things.
Now you see how it's all it fits together and unfolds.
No one sees that, madam.
I'm sick and tired of the propaganda, the lies.
Okay, I don't know where she's coming from. But
Did you know that William Wilberforce is a British white English man who abolished slavery?
So obviously we've seen this before. Show people who. Once again, if you want any strategies to reverse it, you can say many people who sexually assault women at some point have to stop. You don't give them credit for that. It's just it's the once the crime has been committed that you have to address it from that topic. Stopping is amazing because you have to stop abusing people at some point, but you don't get 10 points for that because the person hasn't been properly addressed or their psychologically hasn't been assessed. No compensation or arrest hasn't been made. So just saying I stopped abusing you, I want a belt, a medal, you won't get it for that. No sir.
Him and 12 other friends, one of them who adopted a black child.
Obviously, a woman like this is probably almost hitting on parody because these talking points are more comical, but it's just we're just analyzing footage that's out there. Really.
Do you know that? No.
Adopting. Well, we would prefer that no non-black person adopts black people. We see many challenges that comes from that. And we would like to be in a situation where no black people needs to be adopted. But that's a future plan.
You just run your mouth with so much hatred against the very same country that knighted you. How flippin' dare you? How flippin' dare you?
You don't know who this woman is. There you go. Is that what she's called? Capcom? I have no idea. Don't really care. But came across my feed. So we just studied it. But then once again, we're just giving black people the ammunition to deal with these stuff. Because it's quite consistent. Let's see if there's any more videos before we jump on to the actual topic of the show. I did see this one, this woman, this up there, this one. We covered this before. This was a couple months back. So I'm going to see if I can take the music. This was the brick lady. We covered this because the lady was reported that someone threw a brick at her when she was approached for dating, and as times revealed, that story didn't add up. So this update to that. Sorry, if we don't want to see her dancing. That's right, cool. Yeah, no, so there's the lady. Hold on, I'll put the music up.
Dollars on GoFundMe is now being a woman who raised over $40,000 on GoFundMe is now being charged with theft by deception.
It's very important. Definitely the sisters to speak about this because we made a thing to make sure we defend black women from being abused. But this is similar to the few weeks back with this other woman who was alleging that she was sexually assaulted by her boyfriend, but that was a made up story. And these made up stories they're not good because they undermine the people who actually are abused, and it demotivates people to jump in and try to assist.
What have I ever done to anybody in my life?
And this is high acting and all for money and stuff. I mean, don't get me wrong. Some of these individuals, when you actually watch their the platforms and the behavioral patterns, you realize that something isn't right here, and there's a kind of error proneness to most things they do. But even if an error prone person is abused, you still have to protect them. But once again, part of the error proneness is lying. So this is the unfortunate thing that seems to happen. I think she had an allergic reaction to something. I'm not too sure.
Rhoda Osmond told cops that she was hit in the face with a brick outside a Houston club after she refused to give out her phone number. But footage capturing the incident does not support Rhoda's report, according to charging documents. And cops say a similar GoFundMe was created in 2020 where she claimed to be assaulted with no reports on record. GoFundMe told an NBC affiliate that the fundraiser has been removed from their platform and Rhoda has been banned from creating future fundraisers.
Yeah, so we're actually talking a sister topic today. But one thing you would definitely want to correct that behavior, and sisters don't do that, and brothers as well. But anyone German who's scamming or whatever, but the thing is, and slightly connected. I was saying this before. The conscious community is probably the easiest people to scam because, we're looking for constructive people, and we're looking for grassroots ideas and stuff. So it's easy to get in there and that, but generally, you don't do that. Not good. Anyway, let's go to the actual topic at hand. Let's go there. Remove that, please. Where's that? Move that out of the way. And so, which one should we start first? The hurricane. I've got a lot of footage on that, and that seems to be more problematic. So maybe I'll just quickly do the insecure one. And it's just this trigger warning. You see black men doing some silly stuff, the universal black men, whatever. But open. Let's try that. Okay, what's this one? What's this one? So I saw this. No, don't that one. Yeah, I saw this. So I saw this, and it reminded me of So I saw this, and it reminded me of some other dudes who walk around asking, white people, anyone, like, oh, what do you think about women who wear weave and this kind of stuff? And it's presented, in a way like someone's trying to do good, but it's actually more clickbait and backhand compliments, all the rest of it. And they have a look and a behavioral pattern. But let's see this.
Why do you think black women are so obese?
What kind of question is that?
Notice how he says it. Why do you think black women are so obese? And he's talking to Europeans, and he changes his delivery when he's talking to black people. But generally, this is all for clickbait. And once again, the reason why black women are the easy and the best target, because every group is protected by their men. So because black men have recovered from being conquered by white men, the organization needed to defend the women isn't as superior as others, so we struggle. You see, and that's why we have to have black Betterment to synchronize all black men to understand what the primary is. And the primary is black men protect women and children. Very simple. That's just how it is. Has been that since the olden days. Obviously, many brothers have forgotten that, and that means protect the image, the psychological thinking. The providing and the upliftment and all that good stuff. It's all that. So making YouTube channels to undermine black women just isn't really the way.
I don't like this question.
And what's happening now? These European ladies are saying this is because you tend to find that even though historically European women have when they got into institutions don't really support black women. They are more on page to understand. They can actually see error-prone behavior from black men. They can see that, and they understand. Like, yeah, I'm not gonna unite with black men against black women. Not all to us, but you do see that. There are correlations where they understand trigger warnings. Like, yeah, I'm not gonna co-sign that. And this is one that time.
This is the truth, though. I want to raise awareness to it.
I have a question, though. Why do you have to stereotype one race as being obese?
With all disrespect, keep black women out your mouth.
His brother goes on to try to defend black women. So big up him. We're not going to. He goes insulting them. Not going to play it. But it's good to see black men. That's important to see black men jumping in and defending up. Yeah, I was going to say that. I'm going to say that because I don't assume. But big up that brother for doing that. And then that made me go on this other guy's page to see his other content. Let's see if I can find his other content.
You know that. Why do you think 62% of black women are women? Because
I'm just trying to find it.
Why do you think that?
Let's see this one. So this when he's talking to black women, he changed his tune slightly.
50% of black women are obese in America.
Yes.
Yeah. So what do you think?
And this is like his whole profile, and there's a whole load of pages, but that's what they did. Now don't get me wrong. This is also important. Black Betterment looks to look at the challenges. So if we have high diabetes, high blood pressure, high obesity levels, high unemployment, high mortality rates, and this kind of stuff. If we have high in that, it has to be addressed. But how you address it, you have to address it like someone within the same team. Yeah, you have to address it like you're part of it, and you have to have the historical context as an understanding to understand. And that's why I don't recommend dissing these gentlemen, because once again they are product of that history, right? As in they have been conditioned to be self-hating, and also how to and the whole culture of making money at the detriment of your community group. It's a very easy technique to do, and you're going to get very little pushback because you're attacking your own self in a disorganized community. Well, let's have a listen.
Reasons as to why that is.
I would say
Because it's faster to go to fast food than cook, and it's cheaper.
What are some things that you think that could help change those bad habits? Because a lot of times it becomes habits first from the parents, and then they done made that a habit.
Remember, the things that the gentleman and lady will say, and more so him, there's going to be much truth to it, and we can't deny it. But it's the motivation and the delivery of how they do it, especially when you're talking to other groups, and we've just demonstrated him talking to Europeans, whatever, right? So you see there's a strategy behind it.
So now the kids do it also. What do you think some things that we could do ourselves rather than waiting for the government to do a fix?
I would say like cook more. Like even if you can't afford groceries, there's also like pantry options, Meals on Wheels and stuff like that. So those are like definitely healthier options.
So use all the opportunities and things that are available. Don't be too proud. Be like, oh, I'm too good to go get, for example, food stamps. Food stamps is for people that don't got enough money, but turns out white people are the main people that use them. So black people, instead of being too proud, go use that, go use this, whatever it can to help them if they can't buy the groceries themselves. Do you know that?
Talks about black people in the third perspective. Interesting. Let's get one more. And this is him, his same page as well. One more. What's it? One more.
Why is the way to
Not that one.
go? You know that's.
So this is him using another woman's video to his.
We are the biggest women in this country. We're not telling each other nothing.
Once again, I'm not here to any kind of information that we're trying to improve. It's more so the motivation and the strategy and the delivery. Once again, a big man like him, if he really wanted to help black women or just help people in general, he could. He obviously does exercise, I assume. He could make his page by exercising with black women. I'm sure there's plenty healthy black women or non-healthy black women that he can use in his page, dancing around and doing exercise and stuff as a motivational thing. That's what I would recommend, but obviously this clickbait technique works better.
Other than, yes, we're too big. It's too big. It's too much. Obesity, cancer, infertility, high blood pressure, and diabetes. We lead in the pack with women who are dying because of mortality.
So common problem.
So now what he's going to do, he's going to say, look, this woman said it, so why are you getting angry at me when I say it?
Problem I see amongst black people is that every time someone comes and speak up against the mistakes that are going on in our community, whether it's being deadbeat fathers, whether it's being obese, whether it's shooting each other, y'all love to call them a coon. And
once again, all these things, if you see error in your community, trying to fix it is correct. This is high principle behavior, but how you do it is key, and that's why you have to have a history of wanting better for your community and being upon that side of the spectrum. If you're someone who's just standing amongst other community groups who benefit from the downfall of black people, pointing fingers and insulting and trying to get clickbait responses, then everything you say will be looked at as suspect, because that's not how team plays operate.
Say they're just trying to please the white man and a traitor and a racist and all this other stupid crap. When in reality, you know that change is uncomfortable and you rather continue to do the same stupid mistakes rather than take accountability that it is your fault you're in the situation that you're in. So when I say that black women are the most obese in America, it is a simple fact. It is a simple fact. It doesn't matter how you feel about it or how I say it. It is a fact. And no, it's not because of PCOS or because of fibroids or because black men are sexist and they treat their women bad. No, it's not because of any of that. It's simply because of going to eat some baked chicken, some rice, some vegetables on the side. You love to go to Popeyes and get things that are high in grease and all these hot chips and other stupid stuff.
So yeah, once again, I'm sure there's many facts he stumbled on, but it's just how you deliver it and the motivation behind it. And if you're really making change, pointing the finger doesn't work, unless you can be very harsh. Many of the black leaders of the past had a extreme harsh element, but they paid the cost to be the boss. So once you're consistent and you're actually in the trenches with people, you can speak how they speak to them. But if you're not in the trenches and you have no history of doing that, plus you have a consistent behavior pattern of trying to be rage bait led, then no one's going to take you serious, and all the derogatory terms they give you will stick. And you will be of that. And once again, I'm trying to sow division, but when you talk to black brothers, you can always go, well, where's the institutions that we run that we can that we can put our women in? So every group has challenges that you can highlight, and black men don't run institutions. So should we make a whole segment on that? And should we do it from a standpoint of hate, where we're standing with other men pointing at black men, going, "Ha ha!" You know, can you imagine black women married to a non-black man pointing at black men, saying, "You don't know nothing"? That's not that she would then get the same kind of hate you're getting. And the thing is, a lot of the stuff you say will be true, but it's where it comes from. I hope this is making sense. I hope I'm giving the brothers and sisters listening the strategy of how to actually tackle these topics. Very important topics, you see. Very important indeed. All right, so let's now. That's I think that's all the videos from. I've got some other ones. I mean, they are connected, but they're more like the way people speak, and I mean, it does. I guess it taps into the whole. Maybe it taps into the women thing. We'll play 2 more, and then we'll go into the hurricane. I did see once again it's black men on the internet and how they speak. Just certain education you have to give. Hold on, let me find it. Let me see what this is. Not that one. Not that one. Well, first, let's look. First, this is important. Let's look at this. So this is in Africa.
The better you are, more hair. This is my normal skin tone. I had to evolve to this, and I want more because the more lighter I am, the more beautiful I am.
Habiba is a self-described slay queen, infamous for dating senior politicians. Habiba says she now recruits consenting young women for rich men and uses social media to promote herself.
Thank you so much for tuning in, Bona. Really
On her own podcast.
If I both take them and present them to men, they will give her small money, they will give her more money. So she dreams to be like her. Her dream is to be more like her.
So you would like to be like her?
Yes, like life is at the top. Yeah, the light skinned you are, the better you are, more hair, and she can express herself better in English, and she's exposed to the city life. She's original from the village, but she managed to adopt to city life, and this one is like hardcore village township girl. The reality is that the lighter you are, the more beautiful you are, the more value you get, unfortunately.
Skin bleaching is extremely dangerous.
So you had bleached your skin because you believed it would give you greater value and a greater chance of making money.
And it did.
But don't you think that's incredibly sad and harmful, and a harmful example?
What can we do? Because even social media will display women who are more light-skinned as if they're more beautiful. Women who can present themselves well, they're more beautiful. If I'm not wearing this high heel and this nice dress, I will look ghetto, and I will get less money. I will attract a different audience.
Right. So yeah. So big up, brother Bing, brother TCon, and Dominic, brother Dominic, and anyone else who's live. So yeah, and this is the thing. There's when you're at this kind of position in life, you're not really talking to people about, why things are wrong and do you think, because people always give you their, what they understand or the realities that they're presented. So what you, at this kind of governance level, you're just trying to reverse engineer what has happened. So rather than telling people that black is beautiful, you demonstrate. You run institutions. You put black people in magazines. You show quality of black people doing certain things. You have an Afrocentric centric way of presenting things. You also rebalance the amount of types of black people you see, the darkness and all that good stuff there. You try to reverse engineer what was done, because obviously sisters like that will tell you that, and they'll just tell you for straight fact. And also when you look at things like this, let's have a sneak peek on the boutique so I can find it. Where is it?
Why is the way?
Is this
your
one?
Name and age, and why did you end up popping your balloon? Took me 38.
I think it was this one. Let's see.
Your name and age, and why did you end up popping your balloon?
38. It's just that I want somebody that's closer to my age. That's all.
Word.
Other than that,
No problems there.
very handsome.
I can teach you some things though. 44, I got a lot of life experience.
Okay.
Teach you how to get to the bag too. You want your balloon back?
Yeah, give me my balloon.
Oh, look at that! You talked your way back into it. So now she's someone that's your type.
To be honest, I mean, she's a beautiful girl. But if I'm being 100% authentic, I usually go for more of the light skin. I'm a dark brother, so we got a baby. You got to balance out. So.
So once again, and you see those, these brother doesn't understand the self-hatred in that comment about wanting to be for light-skinned women for baby reasons and stuff. But once again, you can't tell these people much. I mean, you can shame them, which is some people enjoy doing, but more so you have to create the environment where black people love their tone, especially dark-skinned people, and you show success and the brilliance of darker baby, darker men, darker women, blah blah blah, that good stuff there. And if you don't do that, then they will casually tell you, like with a straight face, black people will tell you self-hatred with a smile, like, and they'll go, of course, and they'll tell you with a matter of fact. So this is what I'm saying about the atrocities of the past and why we have ancestral obligations and stuff, because black people, we collectively don't know. We just don't know. There's much different variables of self-hate that goes on in the community. So you're trying to fix a community that everyone else has contributed to destroy, but the legacy of that is still within the community, where self-destruction is even part of your everyday culture, and that's what you're dealing with, you see. So yeah, let me show you one more, kind of similar, and the sister is onto it. Hold on, I think, let me see if I can find it with her.
Awesome.
Why?
No, he didn't say I like that you're light skinned.
I think this one might be. Let's see.
That you're light skinned.
He said, I like that you're light skinned, which made me pop.
And now, is she someone that's your type?
Yes, definitely. She's beautiful. I like the outfit, the light skin, like the tattoos, definitely. Like the feet. The feet are done nice, I see. I like that. I like that. I like the leg tattoo.
Your name and age, and why did you end up popping your balloon?
I'm Alana. I'm 40. I just didn't like the comment of, I like that she light skinned.
So there's a light-skinned lady who understands that when you go on dating places, if you're leading with those tones, even just mention it. Once again, this is where you have compensatory kind of recorrection. So on these kind of shows, someone saying they like or they want light skin from a historical standpoint will be seen as dangerous. However, on the flip side, someone complimenting someone's dark skin tone should not be frowned upon, and it's not like a what do you call it? It is a mitigating circumstance where it's like, because of what has been happened and the non-stop bias that we see in the world, you can always allow a mitigating circumstance for someone highlighting a darker skinned tone as beautiful. I know it sounds like this sounds very odd, but that's how equity kind of works, you see. And this sister being light skinned is not comfortable with this brother leading with that's what he likes, or blah 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 blah.
That was kind of weird. I ain't gonna lie to you. Shame.
Okay, so I was just going off her complexion. I think she's a beautiful woman. So I feel like for her complexion is like a light skin complexion. No disrespect. I love all types of women, all shades of women. So it wasn't a shade towards her or towards you. But I was trying to give her a compliment because she is a light skinned woman and she's very attractive. So it was no disrespect. Definitely.
It's no disrespect to me. I'm just, you could have used something else.
The sister is correct. The sister she understands social etiquettes and surroundings. And I think the brother is not wise to it. And most brothers seem not to be like the last gentleman that was on. And all these casual behaviors is what contributes to the first video we saw, where those sisters were in South Africa. I have no idea what type of profession they're in. I can only assume we're talking about being lighter to get more money from men, this kind of stuff.
She's not light skinned. She's not like red bone, like light skinned.
I mean, yeah, I like that you're light skinned.
No, he didn't say I like that you're light skinned. He just said he likes her skin.
No, he said I like that you're light skinned, which made me pop. He said like that.
I didn't say no. I said I think she'll try. I said she's light skinned.
We can watch
like
it back.
Complexion.
I promise you that.
Yeah, I don't like her because she's light skinned. She's beautiful, but she happens.
Yeah, the brother doesn't seem to understand.
To be light skinned, so that's why I was commenting on her complexion. But yeah, she's beautiful.
You know what I'm saying? I like she light skinned too.
Okay, hey, that's cool.
Is she someone that's your type?
She was.
Yeah, so there you go. We're just watching these kind of balloon popping games. But once again, a lot of brothers and sisters on the show, they're not really educated on the history of trauma and that kind of stuff. That's what it is. Anyway, so let me end it there. Unless there's any questions in the community. But yeah, that's something that we just have to, relook out there. What is it? We started with suspected insecure support for the sisters, men who use a rage bait to get their clicks up, trying to pretend they support your hair or your weight or whatever it might be, but actually they're just trying to create rage bait content that gets them lots of clicks and hopefully I guess sponsors and paid, I don't know. And they understand that black women are the least protected because black men's responsibility is to protect black women, but black men are making the videos, so they understand that there is less pushback, so less pushback means more money. And then we just looked at a history of colorism and once again just bad decisions and not educated on the history of some of these challenges. Now let's go to the Hurricane Melissa updates, unless there's other things people want to tackle here. All right, where did we get rid of that? Hold on. So yeah, unfortunately, if you got family in Jamaica, I hope they're okay and you reached out to them, and help your prayers with them and your support and finance as well. Where is? Oh, there you go. So hurricane there. So let's see if I got some videos. Let me look at some news reports, and then I got some aerial footages and stuff. Right, the shows. Let me. Oh, is that one? I think it's here. Let's see.
October 2025.
Colourful curtains.
Let's look at this. Let's look at an alphabetical order. There you go.
2025. The aftermath of Hurricane Melissa. It has been devastating.
It's a date and a day nobody here will forget. The aftermath of the strongest hurricane to hit this island since records began. They lived through this. A reminder, as if anyone here needed it, of the might of a Category 5 storm. This is the main street in the community of Black River. Colourful homes, restaurants and bars all wrecked. Villages and towns contorted by winds stronger than anyone here has ever experienced. With many roads blocked, emergency services struggled to reach the worst affected areas, even with the help of Good Samaritans.
The conditions here are devastating. Catastrophic is a mild term based on what we are observing here.
Hurricane Melissa tore through the heart of this island. This region is known as Jamaica's breadbasket for its crop growing. It was still recovering from Hurricane Beryl, which caused widespread damage here last year. But this is far worse.
The roof just taken clean off there.
It's gone. Yeah, it peeled off.
Nikki's house was directly in the hurricane's path. She hunkered in the garage as it hit.
When it really started kicking, it was truly scary. The building was shaking, the windows were bowing in despite the shutters, the hurricane shutters. Water was coming in under the door, and it was just this most unearthly noise. It's not a howling. It's almost like an express train.
How difficult is the recovery going to be for some of these places?
Unimaginable. Jamaica has never had a storm of this intensity, this strength. And a lot of people didn't take it as seriously as they should have. It's just about as bad as it could have got.
A little bit of a waterfall in here right now.
Around 25,000 tourists are still stuck on the island. Most rode out the storm in hotels, some of which were also damaged. The challenge now is getting them out and aid in. This is one of the country's two major airports, a gateway to luxury resorts on the island's north coast. It won't be able to open for some time, but the other airport in the capital, Kingston, will resume flights soon. A message of resilience echoing across Jamaica.
Well, the fact of the matter is that this won't be the first and the last hurricane that we've experienced. We had a major Cat 4 37 years ago and one 37 years before that. So we've been experiencing this for decades, and we become more experienced and more resilient. And it's time now for the government and the world to come to the assistance, and let's get Jamaica back on track in the shortest possible time.
Families are still trapped in their homes in some of these communities, according to authorities. The Jamaican healthcare system is, they say, facing one of its most severe crises in recent memory. One hospital is out of commission on the island and 2 others strained. The US is sending urban rescue and disaster relief teams to the Caribbean. Finding any survivors and preventing the spread of disease here will be their first job. Martha Kellner, Sky News.
It's not good. Yeah, let's see if there's other videos. What's this one?
We are happy.
This is the Prime Minister of Jamaica.
We are able to speak live now to the Prime Minister of Jamaica, Andrew Holness, who's in Montego Bay on the north of the island. Prime Minister, thank you very much for making the time to talk to us here at BBC News. We know that you do not have the complete picture yet of the scale of the damage caused by the hurricane, but what can you tell us at this point?
Well, I've just had the opportunity to do an aerial tour of the most damaged areas. And for the southwestern end of the island, particularly for the parishes of St. Elizabeth, Hanover, St. James, where I am now, parts of Manchester, it is serious damage and in some instances total devastation. In particular, one town, Black River, has been, you could literally say, totally destroyed. The corridor along which the eye of the hurricane made landfall and proceeded, what you could effectively say is a trail of destruction. I would say about 80 to 90% of roofs were destroyed, hospitals destroyed, libraries, police station, courthouses, urban infrastructure destroyed. So the southwestern end of the island has had serious devastation.
On a personal level, can you describe for us the impact this is having on you, seeing this level of devastation? Obviously, you will have experienced hurricanes before, but not one of this strength, the storm of the century. I'm sure you'll have heard that term being used as it built up in strength prior to making landfall in Jamaica.
Well, you know, no one wants to experience a Category 5 hurricane. There's scarcely any infrastructure that can withstand the strength and devastation that a Category 5 hurricane carries with it. This obviously would not be the first hurricane that we have experienced. Last year we had Hurricane Beryl. The areas that were impacted by this hurricane, I would say, would be twice as devastated as the impact of Hurricane Beryl. For me personally, it is a challenge. Obviously, you really don't want to see your country going through this. But the Jamaican people are highly resilient, strong people, and we will recover from this and recover even stronger.
Prime Minister, I know you are still, of course, assessing the damage. We saw the U.S. Secretary of State say that, you know, rescue teams are on the way. Can you tell us a bit more about what kind of help Jamaica needs right now and what the international community is offering?
Well, we've had very good response from the international community. You mentioned Secretary Rubio, the French, yourselves, the British. CARICOM has really come on board to assist. And we'll be getting assistance, as you have mentioned, help with search and rescue, humanitarian relief. The offers of help have been very expansive, and we're very much appreciative to the international community for the support that is forthcoming so far.
What about the immediate aid, Prime Minister? Water, restoring power. What is it going to take to be able to deliver that in the coming hours and days?
Well, we have a strategy in place for that, and we're going to have the restoration of electricity and telecommunications in the areas that have not been so badly affected. That's the first step. And then we do a comprehensive assessment of the areas that have been really affected. So I would suspect that within the coming days that you will begin to see the restoration of electricity right across the island. In the areas that have been badly affected, it may be a matter of weeks, but I give the assurance to my citizens that we'll be working very hard to have our electricity and telecommunications restored.
Prime Minister, obviously you're focused on immediate needs, but coming back to that idea of resilience that you mentioned a short while ago, I spoke to someone yesterday, Tuesday, in Jamaica, who said that looking further ahead, the country has got to rebuild, not based on what's happened in the past, but to rebuild for future impacts. I'm sure that is something that you have been thinking about. Do you believe that Jamaica will be able to rebuild differently, given the strength of the storm that it has just experienced?
Well, we have a very robust strategy for resilience building, including resilience in our fiscal management and resilience in our infrastructure. We have actually started rebuilding our infrastructure in ways that take into account the new climate we have. The truth is that our colonial history would have seen our infrastructure develop along coastal areas. And now we have started to move our roadways and highways more internal, and we improved our building codes, so many of our buildings were able to withstand the hurricane. But you're right, much more needs to be done in terms of ensuring that resilience is mainstream into all aspects of life in Jamaica.
But on that climate issue, you have been advocating for more accessible and flexible climate finance for small islands. And do you think, though, the world is listening, that the countries who historically and indeed in a contemporary sense are responsible for the greatest number of carbon emissions, the greatest amount of carbon emissions, are really listening to the needs of places like Jamaica?
I think the climate debate is one that is seriously challenged in today's world, but the science is clear. There is warming taking place, and it is causing a change in our climate, and the impact of which we feel on a daily basis in the Caribbean, which is more frequent, more intense storms and hurricanes, and that is having a devastating impact on our infrastructure and on our economy. I think the world conscience, the international conscience, must be to ensure that countries like Jamaica, small island developing states, that there is a certain equity, a certain fairness, a certain climate justice, that countries like Jamaica would be able to access financing and development support in ways that helps us to build resilience, to mitigate against the challenges, and indeed to rebuild our economy when they are damaged by these natural disasters, which are indeed linked to climate change.
Prime Minister, I want to come back to where you are in Montego Bay. Can you tell us what some of the Jamaicans you've been meeting today have been telling you about their experience and their concerns?
Well, many are still in shock. Some are very much anxious now about the future, great uncertainty. But as I said earlier, the spirit of Jamaica is that we are a strong people, we're a resilient people. So we will bounce back from this, we will rebuild, and we will rebuild stronger. So I give a message of hope to the Jamaican people that your government will be able to mount a credible humanitarian and recovery response, that the international community is watching, is concerned, and there will be a mobilization of support. So Jamaica will recover, and recover very quickly.
And Prime Minister, before we let you go, what is the #1 priority for you and your government in the coming hours?
In the coming hours, we need to reach the communities that have been marooned. So we are clearing roads, trying to get to those communities. We need to bring the humanitarian relief to them, food, temporary shelter, medicine, and in some instances, water. So that's the immediate attention right now. We do have a very robust, as I've said before, disaster management plan and administrative bureaucracy behind the scenes. So we should be able to stand up all the necessary elements of our effective relief program.
Okay, so we're looking at this Prime Minister of Jamaica there. We look at the Hurricane Melissa updates. We used to have brothers who, I don't know if they were out in Jamaica, but they definitely used to ring in from Jamaica. So I hope they're okay, and I hope everyone is doing fine out there. We'll try to keep up to date. We've got some other videos of, I guess someone did. Let me see. We'll find one more of them. Is that one? That's not that one.
The ferocity of the hurricane.
It's the one news report, and then we'll go to the what they called it, the drones. There's some guy got drones and
ferocity of the hurricane.
There's some
The
drones.
town in ruins.
Did you have any family in Black River? Hopefully, you can contact them.
Jamaican officials had warned that no infrastructure in the Caribbean
So they're saying this is the strongest hurricane on record, I think.
could survive a direct hit from a Category 5 storm. And so it proved.
Guys, look at this.
In the western Jamaican towns and parishes, the devastation is immense.
Live from Mobile, guys. Look at this.
These pictures were distributed by the Prime Minister's office, along with requests for international assistance to support the recovery effort. Some of the very facilities needed for that task, like this hospital, have taken a major hit.
So I think 5 is the highest. I think the Sheriff Simpson scale. I think. Let me put a link to it if I find it for you. I think 5 is the highest. Yeah. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Yeah, it looks like it's I guess higher than 70 miles an hour. Let me put that link for you guys to see. So this was at the highest. Yeah, it's a shame.
And may take months to get back to normal. Police stations are also impacted. Officers out on the streets, doing what they can to start the task of post-hurricane recovery.
The whole of it gone, this is one of the room.
Jamaicans have posted on social media images of their homes and the heavy toll inflicted by Melissa as it inflicted its punishment.
We need help. We are wet up with one room less. One room left. We need help, guys.
The agricultural lands of the St. Elizabeth parish have suffered significant damage. A government minister quick to recognise the long-term impact of that.
Jamaica has gone through what I can call one of its worst period. Our infrastructure has been severely compromised. St. Elizabeth is the breadbasket of the country, and that has taken a beating. The entire Jamaica has felt the brunt of Melissa.
One of Western Jamaica's historic and most cherished buildings is the St. John's Anglican Church.
Anglican Church there?
Now it's been largely destroyed. It is surrounded by the debris of Black River.
It's gone. Jesus Christ! I live one!
Local journalists said Jamaicans have never witnessed such intensity before.
This one was a category 5. In fact, it's the most powerful hurricane on record. It reached wind gusts of 241 miles per hour. It looks like what a tornado would do. It's absolutely devastating to see, and the country has never experienced something like this.
It has left 3/4 of the island without power. And the airport at Montego Bay is in need of significant repairs before it can serve tourists again. So vital a part of Jamaica's economy. The storm has diminished in strength, but is still impacting the Western Caribbean, pummeling eastern and central Cuba, and causing flooding in Haiti that has killed dozens of people.
And that's Cuba and Haiti is also being hit. Haiti might actually have a high death rate at the moment for other reasons. So that's something we should really keep an eye on. If this was caused by climate change, then there are bigger questions to be asked about how the West, who cares most for the change, interacts with the rest of us. Well, yeah, I mean, if it is connected to anything that other behavioral patterns from other nations, yeah, it's definitely something that we have to look at, isn't it?
In Jamaica itself, the enormous task of rebuilding lies ahead. The Prime Minister was touring the worst affected areas today, reassuring people his government would rise to the challenge. And the military is already deployed, starting what will be a monumental challenge to bring aid to those who need it most. Robert Moore, News at 10.
Well, large parts of Jamaica are pretty remote and rural, so the full picture of the devastation left behind by Hurricane Melissa is still emerging. But vital infrastructure, everything from transport and power to homes and hospitals, has taken a huge hit. Melissa is the strongest storm to hit Jamaica since records began 174 years ago, and it left 77% of the island without water. The small town of Santa Cruz in the southern Jamaican parish of St. Elizabeth was particularly badly hit. A massive landslide triggered by widespread flooding blocked the town's main roads, reducing streets to mud pits. Hurricane Melissa has also brought significant damage to Cuba. Officials say parts of the Granma province are underwater, while some 735,000 people remain in shelters in the east of the country. But as we heard in Robert's report, many of the deaths we know about so far have actually been in Haiti. There, La Digue River burst its banks and devastated nearby homes. Now, Sir Keir Starmer described the scenes caused by Hurricane Melissa as truly shocking. King Charles said he and the Queen are deeply concerned. Britain today pledged an immediate £2.5 million in emergency aid for Jamaica. The UK keeps close ties with Jamaica, of course, the Britons who live there or regularly visit, and the many people living here who have close family on the Caribbean island.
In the Jamaican capital, Kingston, wind and rain lashed through the night as Melissa hit. Waiting out the winds in his home, Marcus, a Brit now living in Jamaica,
This is my first time outside of my apartment.
who woke to find
he's like a blogger, right? I've seen him before. We've probably played one of his videos before, I'm sure.
he'd been spared the worst.
Listening to that howling last night, it was awful. It was terrible watching all the trees and everything flying around, and my bedroom was filled with a lot of water as well.
Trying to ring, but it's not going through.
Thousands of miles away in the UK, Claudia is desperate to reach her brother Gary. But with communications down and power out, she can only cling to fragments of news.
My cousin this morning on the prayer group, she mentioned to us that her sister was stuck in her apartment. The water was coming in and she was by herself. She was boarded in and there's no way for her to escape, and the water was just rising, rising, rising. She was on one bar and she said, "Sis, I give up. I give up." And she was encouraging her, "No, you can't give up. You know what I mean? You've got your son, you've got your family, you just have to fight it out."
And the hurricane's devastating impact stretches beyond the island itself. Kirtley's grandfather, who was from the Windrush generation, was due to be laid to rest in a church in Jamaica. Now, even that's uncertain.
We're flying out to Jamaica in a couple of weeks for the funeral, and we're just not sure. We're not sure on the damage. We're not sure if that's going to delay the funeral. I know the storm has passed, but I think the aftermath is going to be, I think that's going to be a lot worse than the actual storm.
As the nation counts the cost of Melissa, the UK's
I don't know if there's any kind of like GoFundMe's or anything. Make sure it's proper legit stuff, but we'll have to see if we can research that. And I'm sure naturally people from the Caribbean send stuff to back home anyway. It's normal, but yeah, we'll see if there's any kind of funds going around.
The Jamaican community is mobilising, collecting clothes, food and funds. The British government pledging £2.5 million.
I see. And it's now what I'm going to do is I'm going to they had some what do you call it? I'll describe what is it? Is it that one? No, it's the bottom one. That's these two. Yeah, so this is someone used a drone just to see. I mean, I don't know. I was a bit concerned. I don't know if it's obviously I don't know if things are down, but I don't know if people are getting food or they're taking, like, shops are broke open. I'm not too sure. There's images of people outside like a shop that's like the roofs come off and they're throwing bags, it looks like, or something. When I read the comments and they said, "Oh, are they looting?" So I don't know. I hope not. But once again, I don't know the condition they're in, so it's hard to really say or judge. Really, that was like a church that's being leveled. And I know roofs have always been an issue in the Caribbean. I do think we should cover the best type of housing to make to deal with hurricanes. How much that costs, and is that worth an investment? But I mean, direct hits you can't really do much against. But there might be some kind of solution. Also, like, do they build underground kind of basements and that? Kind of like in the war where they would build. There was a country in Europe where every house had to have like a bunker in it, because it was like either Sweden or a Nordic country, I remember, where they decided to build every house with a bunker just in case a war happened. So the drone's just looking at some of the damage. I assume that's Blackwater, but I could be wrong. Blackwater was more a heavy hit. There was like a sports center, a sugar center. It says sugar center, I think it says. There's people, I don't know if they're going to get food or whatever it is, or, very sad. Yep, it's very sad. So this is a gentleman. He's using his drone to highlight some of the destruction on the island. So where do they go when do they stay indoors? Or I mean, do they? If they're warned in advance, do they try to go to a different part of the island? Hmm. Hmm. For those joining, we're just watching video clips of Jamaica that's been hit. Jamaica, Cuba, and Haiti's been hit. I think Jamaica might be in the worst hit, but I think because of the infrastructure of Haiti and some of the rivers or something, they might have at least a high reported death toll. I haven't heard anything about any death toll in Jamaica, which I guess is good, but I'll have to think. Let me type that in. Jamaican death toll hurricane. It looks like 4 deaths in the hurricane. That was 4 days ago. Oh, here we go. Jamaica reports 19 deaths. That's a shame. And that total death climbs to 44. This was the 30th, which was yesterday. So far, it looks like 44 have passed, unfortunately. Haiti, and it says Haiti have earlier reported 25 deaths, including many children, when a river near the town bust its banks. So that's 25 in Haiti and 44 in Jamaica, it seems. Not too sure about Cuba. Just looking at a drone, look at some of the damages. Man, yeah. Well, for those who was watching the aftermath of the river, so I'm actually just watching. It's quite bad. But yeah, so like I said, if there's anyone who's aware of any kind of like charities or community-run support links, let us know. We'll promote it as long as it's authorized, and we're always trying to make sure it isn't people doing their own thing that's not connected and more their own thing. Look at that river there, river close to the houses, man. Like I said, we used to have people who were coming from Jamaica to speak, and many of us have family there. So it seems like it's really bad. Let me see if I can actually get that link as well. Let me know your thoughts, family. My friends of mine, 85 mother who retired in Jamaica, was not heard from for 4 days It's really stressful for people. Yeah, I hope she's well there, and that's the thing. I would like to think that when this happens, the phone lines are still secure and active. But I mean, I know that when like the in London when the terrorist hit thing, and the 7th of whatever of for a date, but when it happened in London, the terrorist attack, like everyone started using the phone, so the companies couldn't connect well, and you just couldn't get through to anyone. So I don't know if like panic and everyone using the same service at the same time will do the same over there. Hopefully that's something that people factor in, like emergency backup facilities and stuff. Let's see, Hurricane Jamaica the drones. See if I can. I'll give you the link. Yeah, I think this is this one. I think it's all that, man. Isn't it? Everyone's got their own drones. Is this? Yeah, I think it's this guy. Let me give you this guy's page. He goes around just droning things, but I think he did Jamaica. But I don't know if he's in Jamaica or he flies drone. I don't know how powerful these drones are, but he seems to. Let me put the drones footage. There you go. Drone footage. So if you want, you can do it yourself. I've downloaded these videos, but I won't play all of them. I'll just play this one. But he's got like 1, 2, 3. He's got 3 there. Hurricane Melissa land. Yeah, he's got 3 there. They're all like 10 minutes each. Let me see if I can find any other places that do drone. If you wanted to see for yourself. I guess with the drones though, like, because you know drones can carry things, like, because they've got delivery drones. I wonder if that could be a good way to get aid to people. Like Jamaica's very flat. Like I'm just thinking that if hurricane hit like places like Dominica, St. Lucia, other places that have a bit more mountains, being able to get things through drones might be over the mountains. That might be an idea, isn't it? If they don't do that already, because I know they deliver food using drones, and you know you're getting video recording, but that might be a thing. Might be a good use of technology. Heart says why it was. Well, look. Let's recap. So today's show. I mean, I might end there. I've got some things tomorrow, but listen to me. Where's my PDF? So we started today's show with suspected insecure support. Was it suspected insecure support for the sisters? We're talking about brothers who pretend they're supporting sisters with topics about weight or topics about hair choices, but it's more clickbait centric, and they do it because they understand the pushback will be minimized. We're calling it out, and also we're trying to give us a strategy and the ability to recognize it. We give you the language to be able to shut it down and highlight the inadequacies in it. So we start with that. We also looked at colorism and this kind of stuff that is semi-connected here and there, but we're looking at certain videos. And then we moved on to, unfortunately, Hurricane Melissa's updates, which we're looking at drone and footage and stuff, and just seeing if there's any way we can help, and just any kind of connections, any kind of links that can do any kind of support work. We're all happy to help here and promote. And if you've got family, hopefully your prayers with them, your thoughts with them, and you ring them when you can. And I guess I always think that this is one hurricane, but another will come. And as the Jamaican government and as a world community, what could you do to try to minimize that? And how you build your houses. It seems like roofs are always the easiest to come off, but the roofs are probably the least strongest there. So maybe, I'll have to look at like hurricane proof or hurricane design roofs, and also places to. When 44 people have passed away, unfortunately, and 25 in Haiti, and Haiti was connected to a river. It seems issues, but when analyzing how people die in these kind of tragedies, I'm thinking, okay, well, if this is how people are dying, then the solution comes from observing the most people that die and how they die. So we have to get a report on how they died, and hopefully in there is a solution Like if a particular group, age, or a particular way of dying was happening, then you have to think, okay, well, then when the next level 5 hurricane comes, how do we minimize that? But without the data, you can't really make any kind of assertion or update. We'll give thanks for these kind of videos we've got of that's all that one. Now I'm not gonna play the other. I've got 2 more, but I've given the link for you guys to look. Now, unless there's anyone who wants to jump in, we've gone over the hour. Did I look? Let me just make sure. Hold on. Stop sharing. Is that right? Let me hide that for a bit. I'm just gonna make sure because I've got all the videos out of the way of the topic. What's 4 about? Oh, we saw this one. Hold on. No, saw that.
Why do we focus, us as black people, focus so much on racism then?
Oh, I had one more video of a guy speaking. I'll play it. Whatever.
Us as black people focus so much on racism then?
Because it's an excuse to do nothing.
So the brother says the reason black people focus on racism is an excuse to do nothing.
Listen, I'm going to tell you something.
This is the thing you have to watch out for as well.
Go on. White people need more help than black people.
When a black person tells you that other groups, especially the groups that contribute to your downfall, need more help than you already know they've been conditioned to think that way.
Tell me why.
Because they were treated worse.
Especially when they say that Europeans were treated worse. I assume he's talking about enslavement.
Yeah. You know, look at all those people, yeah, right?
Mm-hmm.
You go on those marches for Palestine.
Yeah.
Yeah, right? I would ban every single one of them.
Why?
Because they don't ever want to do the real thing.
Oh, so you don't know the mental condition of people when they speak, so it's hard to actually quantify whether you should even take anything they say even remotely serious. But anyway, that was the only video I had that we didn't play, so I removed that. I'm not going to play what that guy's just going to say, he was going to say. But like I said, family, yeah, so that was a quick rush, quick thing. If there's any topics you want to cover, you want to have your own say so on the show, let us know. The show is a community show. It's no frills, no whistles, unless you want it to be that way. We trying to week to week trying to find solutions. Very simple, easy, laid back way of doing it. A nice way to end the Friday. Hope you guys have a good weekend. Anyone wants to say anything, let me know. But for those who help black people, know you're important. And for those who don't, know you're loved. And until next week, everyone, Black Betterment to all, until Black Betterment. Hope you have a good time. See you next week. That's the end of the show. The show. All right. There you go.